Conor McGregor. You know, I'm starting to believe that Conor's smarter than all of us.
Oh.
Like, he just sits around, he says, what can I do to make this guy do that? Oh, let me think. All I have to do is go on Twitter, say a bunch of things that have missed apostrophes, poor grammar.
Did you
don't make sense?
Did you hit him again? This is 2 shows in a row you hit. You have called the grammar police on.
But here's the thing. It's like pushing buttons. Like, Conor's pushing buttons because Anderson Silva now decided to weigh in and get involved in the party on Twitter. And Conor only had 2 words in response, which was, I accept.
Yeah. So
I'm interested to know what you think about that whole thing and how you see that playing out in the championship rounds. And, you know, based on what you're seeing and hearing, I just want to know your overall opinion on that fight.
Yeah, for sure. I got 3 points that I'm going to make in the championship rounds. I'm basically tell you what I think about the overall concept, what I think the chances are of it happening, and I'll even tell you who I think is going to win.
Do we have that tweet?
Yes, we do. We do have the tweet from Conor.
Or actually from Anderson.
Well, yeah, it was from. Well, it wasn't actually from Anderson. It was a quote from Anderson.
Right. So Anderson Silva calls for Conor McGregor super fight at 176 pounds catch weight. So that's the funny thing is someone else says it, and then of course Conor's accepting their challenge for Anderson, not even really on behalf of Anderson, but he's just I accept.
Right, and the thing of it is that, like you said, Conor is very smart because this tweet comes from a Twitter account that is totally dedicated to him, and it's the Mac Life is to Conor what Fight Hype is to Floyd.
Yeah, he just pulls it out when he needs to stir something up.
Exactly. So that's the way it goes.
All right. Well, you got that's your between. I can't wait to hear what you have to say in the championship rounds about that because I know you probably have a lot to say, especially since you did your top 5 of all time in our last show.
And I didn't have Conor in it, so it is what it is. Well, the first thing is, I do believe that there's a chance that this fight could happen. What is Conor doing though? That's the real thing. Conor, in my opinion, knows that he's not elite anymore. He knows. Whether it's because he can't dedicate himself to that because he's just not that hungry anymore, it's one thing. But Conor is at a place right now where he wants to cherry pick older, perhaps easier fights against guys who have names. Donald Cerrone.
Sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds so familiar in boxing. I wonder who rings a bell.
Yeah.
Who?
It's a Floyd. It's a Floyd
you approach. Said it.
It's a Floyd approach. He's gotten to a point where he's made so much money and he's like, I don't want to go out here and take that type of risk.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. The difference with him is he's more aggressive with his posturing than Floyd.
But I would also say Floyd had such a much better career overall.
Oh yeah, Floyd accomplished way more before he went into cruise control. Conor. Like
I mean, I'm joking around, but I mean, Floyd's career and Conor's career, you can't even compare.
You can't even compare it. I mean,
one's more novelty versus real.
Conor, honestly, from an in-octagon standpoint, it's like a flash in the pan.
Right.
Really.
But he was marketable.
He was very marketable. He had one ginormous win, and that's the 13-second knockout of Jose Aldo, which a lot of people could suggest that was flukish because they both run to the center of the octagon. They both land left hooks at the same time, but you put your guy to sleep.
Yeah. And
they both landed flush. So it just was one of those things. He beat up Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez is not, and he was a champion at the time, but he had taken advantage of a compromise for Rafael dos Anjos to get the title.
But wasn't that who he beat like in the last 10 seconds?
No. Who
did he beat right before
Conor beat Chad Mendes.
Oh, that's what it was in the last.
Yeah, Chad Mendes was controlling Conor with his wrestling.
Right.
But Chad Mendes was coming in as a late replacement for Rafael dos Anjos, who had just gotten hurt. I think it was either dos Anjos or Aldo who had just gotten hurt.
No, it was Aldo. The fight had to get postponed.
Right, fight had to get. But
so they let Conor fight.
Same thing happened with dos Anjos too, but Nate Diaz stepped in for one of those, and then Chad Mendes stepped in for the other one. Right. So he's getting controlled on the ground, but Chad Mendes gasses, and when he gassed, Conor had enough left to stop him late in the third round. But Chad was having a heck of a fight. He cracked him open and everything. So Conor is cherry picking right now, and Anderson is willing to take the bait. Anderson made it easy for him by calling him out. Right now, so many people have called out Conor McGregor over this time period. He has never.
Did Anderson call him out?
Yes.
Or was that?
He said he felt he did an interview, said that he felt that it would be a fantastic fight, a fantastic catchweight fight, and he would love to if the UFC should do it, and so on and so forth. So Anderson made it easy for him, and but this is not unlike Anderson. Anderson does this. He would call guys out, especially older in his life, because he's picking certain challenges himself. Now Anderson has had the type of career where this is what he should be doing at this point. Picking out certain specific challenges.
His body of work is much greater than.
It's not even comparable. It's not even comparable.
Was he 4 or 3 on your list?
He was tied for 5th with Amanda Nunes.
Tied for 5th. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have a problem necessarily with the fight. It's not one I'm jumping to see, but I understand what
fan friendly.
Yeah, I understand where Conor is in his career.
Right.
Conor doesn't want any parts of Justin Gaethje. I'm telling you this right now. Everybody knows he doesn't want any parts of that man. Those guys are at 2 different points in their life. Justin Gaethje is on the hunt, and Conor McGregor is sitting at the table eating dinner. It's very different points of their careers, and Conor's smart enough to know that he doesn't want to get up from dinner and address a guy who is on the hunt, and it's not a fight that's going to end well. Same thing with Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal isn't necessarily on the hunt, but Masvidal is that kind of a presence that is unflappable. Conor's not going to get in Jorge Masvidal's head. So he can do whatever he wants to do. He can say whatever he wants to say. It's not going to matter. Masvidal is going to do the same thing regardless. And I'm telling you, I've said this before, Masvidal fights Conor McGregor, he knocks him out. He knocks him out. If Justin Gaethje fights him, he beats him down and ultimately stops him in the 4th or 5th round. If the fight happens at 155, which I don't even think that McGregor can make 155 anymore. Right. So,
which is also dangerous. Yeah. For him to start accepting higher weight fights simply because he can't make lower weight, because you got to be able to carry that weight and be effective.
And he's done. If he fights Anderson Silva at 176 pounds, you might as well completely cancel his 155-pound career, because it's over.
Right.
It's over. He's not going to drop 21 pounds and fight again. Why? That type of dedication.
Roy did it.
And it didn't work out.
No, it didn't work out.
Yeah. But
he got stopped.
That kind of dedication. Kind of dedication is a hard sell for somebody as rich as Conor.
Right.
It just is. So I definitely think it's a chance. Dana White did mention, he says, Conor and I have not spoken, but usually when Dana is totally against a fight, he shoots it down immediately. No, that ain't happening. Then you got to convince him. But all he said was, well, I haven't talked to him yet, which means that sounds good to me, because you know what? I think Conor's probably going to beat Anderson Silva, even though the odds were early on that Anderson Silva was favored, which is kind of shocking to me. But yeah, I think that Dana probably thinks that Conor beats Anderson Silva, which can fluff up Conor McGregor for longer and keeps him, as more of a draw for longer. Because I'm going to tell you, if Conor McGregor takes another beating from anybody, it's going to drastically impact his appeal and his it's going to be harder to sell all of what he does. So it's going to be interesting, man. I don't think that, like I said, he's cherry picking. He's not looking for a challenge. He's looking for a name.